We're with Eastern Connecticut head women's soccer coach Chris D'Ambrosio getting ready for the season opener, his 12th season at Eastern. Chris, you have a great nucleus coming back. You did lose, however, probably your best offensive player and your defensive player. How's things shaping up in the preseason?
Well, certainly our core is back. A lot of returning players, and we have a good group of new players, freshmen and a transfer. So right now, competition for playing time and spots on the field is very good. The team's really fit. We're athletic. We're very competitive. And it's kind of been our mantra, certainly the last few years, but something we've tried to instill in the program that, you want to come in and love to play, be as fit as you can, all right, and try to, be as technically strong on the ball as you can. So in that regard, it's good. Certainly losing a couple players of magnitude that we did, you don't replace that usually with one player. So it has to be a group effort and a team effort. And again, that's kind of our philosophy is that, we want you to buy in to what we're trying to teach, and we're trying to promote from within. So we're looking at returning players, filling some of those needs in the back and up front, along with some new players that we recruited and transferred in. So things are looking pretty positive so far.
Fitness was an absolute key to your team last year. You went undefeated through 2 rounds of the NCAA tournament. Did the kids come back with that understanding that fitness was of the ultimate importance?
Yes, and we push that each year just because we have such a short preseason to prepare, for games. And, now this year was even more important with the recent hurricane that came through. We lost a couple scrimmages. So you want to be as fit as you can when you start preseason, A, so you can get through the preseason without a lot of injuries, and B, so you can really work on team chemistry and a lot of more technique and tactics as opposed to focusing on fitness during the preseason. And the players did a nice job. The team's very fit.
It seemed like last year you overcame some pretty serious injuries to have a phenomenal season.
We did. And I think we had a couple early, and then a couple late. So the middle of the season wasn't too bad. So, fitness and staying injury-free, obviously every coach would like to see that and, have your best group of players out there. But I think we have a pretty deep roster. Certainly if we do have a couple injuries, we're going to be able to withstand that a little bit. And, I think that helps us a lot. It's a short season, really, in the sense of the amount of games you play. It's condensed, so having a lot of players that are fit on the roster is really going to help your depth and get through the league games as well as the non-league games.
If you can think back to last year, you think pretty much the team this year is at the same point as it was last year, like just days before your opener?
Well, it's a little different. Every team's different, even though you might only lose a couple players. We had 3 seniors that didn't return. They used their eligibility and 1 injury to Taylor Buchanan. But, chemistry is a big thing, with team sports. You got to find the right players and the right role on the field for you that are not only willing to play, that role, but able to execute your game plan. So that's the key. So fitness is a big part of it, but also the team chemistry is huge. So I think we're similar to last year, but you really never know until you start playing outside competition. So, it feels good. We look pretty good, and I think they're certainly ready to start the season. But I think we'll know, after we host our own tournament this weekend, the Warrior Classic, Friday and Saturday night, and then we have a week in between, and we go down to Manhattanville's tournament next weekend, which is the 10th and 11th of September. So I think we'll have a good measuring stick after those 4 games. And the reason we did that is so we have a little extra training time in between the tournaments. We'll have 4 days, 5 days to prepare for the next round of competition. And I think that will really help in as far as building, our chemistry and looking at players in different roles.
You talk about chemistry, Chris, and how many times do you see it on a team where they have a player of the year, national player of the year, a great player that they lose, and the next year the team does better? So you can't really predict chemistry, can you?
No, it's hard. I mean, you try to in recruiting. As you recruit, you're not only looking for good students, strong personalities, good citizens, and certainly good athletes, good soccer players in this case. But that chemistry between personalities is really difficult sometimes, and you try to do that, and I certainly do in recruiting for the program, because you can't have all playmakers and you can't have all defenders on your team. You have to have a nice mix, and I think we do have that again. On the field, we have some ball winners, we have some pace, we have some kids that can serve, we have some kids that can score. So I think the mixture is good, and then finding the right pieces to the puzzle, that's what we'll do in the next couple of weeks.
You lost we talked about probably your best defensive player, Lauren Hickey. You lost your best offensive player in Taylor Buchanan. But could this be a team where it doesn't have any stars?
And I think we've had a lot of teams like that. Last year, Taylor did end up being our leading scorer and was all conference. It was all New England, and that's deservingly for a player like that. But who got her the ball, and who got her the ball in the right situations? So she was a finisher, and will be, I assume, in the future. And Lauren Hickey was a very good defender, great pace and speed, but also matured as a player, as a leader on the field, directing other players. So there were good players with her and around her that accepted those roles and directions. So, sometimes, a year or two on a team with those type of players really helps the next generation of players. And certainly they step up and they go, hey, I want to take that role. And they're able to do it. So I certainly see some players on our team with the potential to do the same thing.
Who are some of the natural leaders on your team that you think are really going to team will rally around?
Yeah, I think we have a couple of our seniors are very good, and they've been with us for 4 years and 5 years, so they know what the commitment level is during the season, off season. They know what the expectations are, and they look forward to it. They love to play the game. They love the challenges. So I think our seniors to start with, and certainly our juniors, and that's kind of how we try to teach the players as they come into the program. It takes time. When a freshman comes in, there's a lot of new information from the coach, from the team, from the players that they have to absorb and kind of take in and try to apply what the coach and the team wants, and it takes some time for that new player. The style is important, so you look for players that can fit into that style right away. But certainly through 3 or 4 years in the program, hearing the same information, being comfortable with it, and then making that commitment level to be the best you can fitness-wise, that's our leaders right there. It's probably our junior or seniors because they've been with the program for so long.
In the game of soccer, goaltending, goalkeepers are so important. You got both your goalkeepers back from last year. Talk about how things are going in that area.
Yeah, I think both of them are solid. Last year, Teresa ended up getting on a nice run and kind of was the hot hand during the middle of the season through the second half of the season. So she played the majority of the minutes. But certainly Mackenzie McLeod could also play and is going to be right there, trying to get some time. And I think they're both comfortable in the back. They're comfortable around the team. They understand their role, obviously, keep the ball out of the net, but then keep the ball once you get it. That's the biggest thing as a goalie. Just because, you have a great punt, are we keeping the ball or are we just giving it away? So I think having been in the program for 3 years plus for both of them, good experience in the goal.
Last question, Chris. You know how funny soccer is? It's just a game of a bad bounce here, a bad bounce there. Is it possible that this year's team could evolve into being a better team than last year, but maybe end up with 4 or 5 losses?
It could be, and you never know, and that's true. It's that certainly in soccer, it's a game of keep away. The team that possesses the ball more during a game has a better chance to win. But if they don't finish their chances, they don't get the bounce that you're talking about, and the other team gets 1 or 2 chances, you lose. So it's an interesting game. A lot of things have to go right for you to be successful on the field, and we know that. We're not going in there thinking it's a given, or hey, just because we had a great year last year, we'll do it again. A lot of factors are involved here, and you just kind of go with the flow there. But that's the game of soccer too. That's the mentality you have to have: is be consistent. All right, put your work in, execute the game plan, and good things will happen. Is there a guarantee? No.
Yeah.
There's just none. And I kind of like that factor.
Mm-hmm.
I've always liked that. It's like the unknown. You have to go out and prove it every time, every day, and every game.
Well, the Warriors open up their season on Friday at home in the Warrior Classic. They will host Fitchburg State at 7:15 at the Mansfield Outdoor Complex. Chris, thanks. Good luck this year.
Okay, thanks a lot, Bob. Can't wait to see all the fans fill the stands this weekend.